Pick is in. The New Orleans Pelicans have indeed selected Zion Williamson with the first overall pick. Zion Williamson headed to the Big Easy, where he is going to have a ton of pressure on his shoulders as now the new face of the franchise. What a freshman season he had. 500 points, 50 steals, 50 blocks in a season. Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant are the only other players to do that in terms of freshman production. His 68% shooting from the field, best by any freshman in Division I history. So, GP, it is official. Zion Williamson to the New Orleans Pelicans with the first overall pick.
I was peeking at the monitor at the moment, and Zion, after Adam Silver said his name, put his head down and had a little moment to himself. Because I don't care how long you've known this was going to happen. It's a lifelong dream that, boom, is now happening. So many basketball players have grown up imagining what it would be like to hear the NBA commissioner announce them as the #1 pick in the NBA draft. And obviously, so few people ever experienced that. Zion Williamson, we've known this was going to happen for a while, but when it happened, he did seem moved because it's the realization of a dream. And now the next step is to go live up to the expectations, which, as we've talked about, will not be easy.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, Zion Williamson tearing up on national television. This is a pretty awesome moment here. Might be one of the defining moments of the night because he's been the presumed #1 pick for months now. When the moment actually arrives, when you actually hear the commissioner of the NBA on the biggest event of the night here call your name, #1 pick, pretty awesome. And remember, Zion Williamson, one more thing. Player efficiency rating, its value, its importance has kind of wavered over the years, but he had a 40.8 player efficiency rating at Duke. That is by far the best in Basketball Reference's database over the past 2 to 3 decades there. So he has established himself from an interior presence and how efficient he is. It's going to be most intriguing and interesting to see how we can use that and translate it to the next level. It's going to be a lot of fun to see Zion Williamson try and do that with New Orleans.
Avery, what a moment for the young man in Zion Williamson there in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center as he's celebrating with his family, of course, reflecting on the blessing right there in the moment of being the first overall pick. When you look at Zion Williamson, the player that he can be, what do you expect from him in his rookie season?
Well, I expect that Coach Alvin Gentry is going to move him around. He'll probably start games at 4, but, he'll move to the center position. And what a mismatch when Alvin downsizes and move him to the center position. What center in the NBA can guard this guy? If he's playing against Philadelphia, I sure like to buy a front row seat to watch him go up against Joel Embiid. So I just think he's going to start off at the 4 position. But what about when Alvin moves him to the 3 position? He's going to outweigh every 3 outside of LeBron James in the NBA. So it's going to be pretty exciting. I love this kid's his motor. I love his tenacity, his mental toughness, and all of the intangibles that he brings to the game. Everybody loves all of the highlight dunks, and I know that gets a lot of tweets and retweets on social media, but this is a kid that has a lot of intangibles. He's more than just a dunker.
Avery, one of the things that's going to be most important for him is to find a shoe that fits so that he doesn't blow out of a shoe. He's got to get his own signature shoe because you can't be wearing some Paul George shoes when you're weighing 285 pounds, right? You need to be wearing LeBron's or you need to be wearing something a little bit bigger.
Absolutely. I could see him, I could see, whatever tennis shoe company, if it's Nike, designing him his own shoe that specially fits a guy that weighs 285 pounds that has a tremendous amount of force coming down on every play, especially with how athletic he is.
Yeah, one of the things when I talked to the Duke staff back after that incident that they told me was, in addition to just being 285 pounds and moving in a way that people his size do not move, putting that pressure on that shoe, he wore the shoes too much. He wore them for longer periods of time than you should. So he was always, just a matter of time, going to burst out of it. By the way, do you know anybody else who burst out of their clothes?
The Hulk.
Incredible Hulk.
Incredible
Boom.
Hulk.
Like I was saying.
Full circle.
Like I was saying.
Professional broadcaster right there.
Like I was saying.
I mean, full circle.